Welcome to the show with your friend and mine. So tell me, Dr. Squee, who's it gonna be this time? We like to hear you talk, and we love to hear you listen. And if you are not subscribed, you won't know what you're missing. So welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Headphones up. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. I'm Dr. Squee and this is my show. Guys, sorry I've been away for a couple of weeks. I really must start planning in breaks because the thing is, I'll have something coming up and I get really excited about it and I'll go, oh, you know what? I bet I could record something though and have it so it's ready to go out when I'm away. And then I don't get around to it and I feel bad because I've let you guys down and not provided what I promised. But we are back now. So the reason why I was away, two events which kept me away. The latter of which was last weekend. I was at Destination Trek, not last weekend, but the weekend before. And the weekend before that, I was at Fantasy Forest at a wonderful event where I recorded two interviews to bring back for you good people. So these two interviews, we've got one interview with our returning guest, Madam Misfit. And then I interviewed Victor and the Bully making their Dr. Squee Show debut. We'll get onto that in a second, but I just want to give a quick shout out. Sadly, we lost someone from the world of Star Trek this week, and I know I do my Star Trek podcast with my two shipmates, Retrek, which you can check out now, and get our coverage from Destination Trek, which we're off to. But one of the guests from the Dr. Squee Show on audio past, Patty Yazaki, and I apologize for mispronouncing that, but she played Nurse Ogawa on Star Trek The Next Generation, and I did record an interview with her at Sci-Fi Ball many years ago, which I believe was one of the earliest episodes of the Dr. Squee Show. But it was on audio, not on video. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put that to a video and put up next week on the Dr. Squee Show. Perhaps paired with another interview, but certainly with that interview, which was with her and Gates McFadden, who played Dr. Crusher. So we're going to feature that next week. But just a big shout out to her and her family. Just very sad loss. She was one of the reoccurring characters, so she was like sort of the Nurse Chapel of the original series. So not one of the main cast members, but in the original series, you had this nurse called Nurse Chapel, who was in a number of episodes, as Patty was for The Next Generation. So wonderful person, really lovely. She did so much to forward rights for Asian people in Hollywood. And she was just amazing. So we look forward to featuring that next week. But it was a bit too close to time to get that prepared for today because it was just the other day when she sadly passed away. But on to this week's show, Fantasy Forest. So an amazing event, first of all. It's sort of like there's nothing in the event that I could think of that I haven't done at other events. But I've never been at an event which encapsulates so many things in one event. So you had a bit of LARP they ran there. You had amazing live acts such as Madam Misfit. Professor Elemental was there. Sadly, I didn't get to catch up with him, but he was there. You've got Victor and the Bully, who I mentioned before. Strange Alice. Just a plethora of really great acts, a lot of which probably to the layperson you haven't heard of, but they are so amazing. And they're so original acts. And yeah, Willow, she's a big fan too. Sorry, Willow's now going to start right as I'm recording this. So what we're going to do is, though, we're going to bring you the interviews in a minute. So Willow, why now? Anyway, Madam Misfit, returning guest to the show, which we're going to hear in a second. But Victor and the Bully, I just want to give a quick little bit of a story before we go into that interview. So I didn't know these guys. I knew that I'd seen them at Sci-Fi Weekend, the other event which I go to bring the interviews back. But what I wasn't aware of is one of them knew me and I knew them. So basically, Victor and the Bully come on with this wonderful makeup which they wear on stage. And and I'd seen them at Sci-Fi Weekend. I thought they were absolutely amazing. Wanted to interview them since then, and of course they're at Sci-Fi Weekend, and as well as Fancy Forest. And Madam Misfit had introduced this act not only to Sci-Fi Weekend but to myself. I thought it was really great. And then after their set at Fancy Forest, Sarah, Madam Misfit, brings them over to say hi to me, and I thought it was just absolutely wonderful. I was talking to them, and she introduced me to one of them, whose real name's Ash, and I go, "Oh, we're very pleased to meet you." He goes, "No, I already know you, Squee." And so, first of all, he's calling me Squee, not by my given name. So already, I'm kind of like trying to narrow down. It's like, well, did you see me at Sci-Fi Weekend? Did I say hi? And maybe I'd been a little bit better served at the event, so I've forgotten it. But he goes, "No, I used to do Dr. Stew," and suddenly I realized who it was exactly. So Dr. Stew was this thing when I did my Gallifrey Stands the first time around, which now has become a sort of like a cousin to the Dr. Squee show whenever there's Doctor Who episodes on. And I used to interview people from Doctor Who. He did this animation online with a friend of his where it was basically Doctor Who through the lens of Family Guy. So you'd have the cutaways and everything and all this kind of fun stuff and all these kind of fun loving jokes to Doctor Who. And he was the animator. He did music for that. And yeah, he'd also done the theme tune to Gallifrey Stands. It was always a version of the Doctor Who theme tune. I think I'd used a stock version to begin with. He created this version, and then later on I used the Matt Lees version, which is the one which I use, hip-hop version, which I use now when we use it as a feature. But yeah, for most of the run of Gallifrey Stands, he'd created the theme tune. I had no idea. And obviously, I didn't recognize him under the makeup. And when I did the original interview, it was on audio, so I hadn't seen him visually, although I'd seen him on Facebook through pictures. So when he said who he was, or when he said Dr. Stew, I instantly recognized it. It was just such a weird and funny thing how these things work out. Because this original interview was over link up, so it wasn't face to face. I'd never met him before in person. So it's really funny how these kind of things come around. I think we do reference it during the interview. It was just great. And Madam Misfit, of course, talks about her new upcoming album, Vitamin M, which you can pre-order now. Please go to madammisfit.com or just Google Madam Misfit and you'll find it. She's got her latest single, Pay It Forward, out now, as well as Power Up, which is her other single from her upcoming album. And also, you can buy tickets now for Nerd Night 2. This was a great event which she did a few years ago with her friend of mine, Adam Washington. A night of music and mirth and fun. And during the day, me and some friends are putting on this event in the Room, we're calling it, at the same venue, where I will, with my friend Sarah, another Sarah, be hosting Family Fortunes, or our version thereof. So please do come along. If you're coming to Nerd Night, hit me up or hit up the High Council of Geeks. There's information in there, and we'll tell you all about the Room and what's going on with the fun there. But more details to follow a bit closer to the time. But without further ado, enough of my gas bagging. It's lovely to be back here on the Dr. Squee Show, but let's kick off a double bill of interviews. We'll go straight into Victor and the Bully after Madam Misfit. I am now backstage with my friend Madam Misfit, aka Sarah, just for the benefit of this interview. Sarah, how you been? How's it all going here at Fancy Forest?
Good. I've just finished my last show, my third show of 2 days.
I was going to say, it's your third show of 2.
No, slipped in an extra one. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing. One of my favourite events of the year, and just like kind of the sci-fi event I do as well, I like to have my own very different wardrobe for this event, just to kind of go full 360 and everything.
Try and get in as much as I can.
So, yeah, kind of going robotic, like kind of bionic girl today. So
you did look very superhero up there on stage.
Good.
Particularly, you always do, of course.
Yeah, very much so. I kind of I don't like to be pigeonholed. I don't like to be second guessed. I like to keep it real, and I like people to be able to recognise me through kind of the voice and the song and the music, not because I wear the same hat.
What I love is I feel like I started following your career at exactly the right time, because I saw your old videos, and I know you've evolved your look a bit, but your look has just become more and more fierce, particularly over the last few years, I feel. Is that something you've been conscious of, something you've been trying to put in there?
Yeah, I think for me, like girl power, I think it's all about that. You know, I am a solo woman in the music career is very niche. It really is, and I think I love the idea of being a positive figurehead for the next generation as well, and also for all the separate kind of subgenres. I support LGBTQ plus kind of communities, the children, the curvy girls. You know, absolutely the queer community. Like I'm happy. Even like the kind of sort of disability and broken of those. I'm performing today with a really bad knee, and yeah, I just love to promote positivity throughout my music, and yeah, nothing better.
And I feel like you also rep the sci-fi geeks who occasionally identify as a dragon, so I appreciate that myself.
I know, a pterodactyl in the crowd. I know I've made it then, hasn't it? Like...
I was talking about my dragon, but okay, let's make it all about my friend Terry.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, I saw a dragon yesterday. It was amazing. It's the people, the commitment that really gets me. Like, we're going through a financial crisis at the moment. People putting their hands into pockets to buy a ticket, to buy an outfit, you know, is absolutely amazing. And then to buy merch as well. It really is beautiful, you know, and it's for me, it's the most amazing job ever. And just to sing at an audience, and a lot of people, you know, maybe 10% I'm like, no, but it's those other 90 that I have no idea who they are, and the kids that are coming up singing my songs. That for me is a real, like, I must be doing something right.
That's perfect segue, because your new banger of a tune, Pay It Forward, is such an earworm. Like, there's never been a song of yours, and I sing along to all your songs, but there's never been one which so instantly got in my head. Was that something you were kind of consciously trying to do with this one, or was it just like the way it kind of flowed?
No, so I'm kind of, as my music's progressing, like album 1, Elixir of a Swing, was just kind of just anything and everything, and now I'm trying to finesse a bit more of a thing, and I think I've got a particularly good thing for writing catchy choruses. So I really
so it's just an army of me going past it. I'm just going to acknowledge it because it's just weird otherwise. But sorry, go on. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Catchy choruses are my thing, and because I'm a one-woman show, I work on big stages, and I would love to get into sort of the festival scenes. And you've seen me perform at some of the big stages.
Oh God,
so I need the audience is like my band, really. That is the extension of my show, is the audience. So things like the call and response, or bringing them up on stage and getting them to join in, or me going down to them. That's it. That's the extension of Madam Misfit, the Misfits as well. It's all part. It all works together. So yeah. So to write towards those, you know, I can feel what they need. Just like Power Up. That was a song written purposely for those nerds. And Pay It Forward is slightly more of a mainstream, less niche. And I just had the vision when you hear it, just to be in a field at Glastonbury. Wink. Having that pie on a sunny day as we just sing it and just share a little love, basically. Pay it forward, a hug when it's needed.
But I feel like it's one of those ones which will work for the mainstream, but it's like I don't think a lot of artists are singing about Pay It Forward, which is such a wonderful idea, such a wonderful kind of thing to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of my favourite lyrics of yours of all time, I messaged you straight after I heard it. I was saying, it's like, there's a bit about someone that you get annoyed because you're being held up in traffic, and turns out they paid for your coffee, and then it feels a bit awkward.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank you. I feel seen by this lyric.
I know.
like never before.
I mean, somebody has bought me a McDonald's in a queue before, but they hadn't annoyed me before. But yeah, and it's just a wonderful concept. I remember getting to a bar at a festival, and it was cash only. Hadn't got cash. Guy at the bar bought me a drink, and was like, Pay It Forward. I was like, oh, it's such a cool. It's like, because you feel good, they feel good. It's just a lovely little thing. And in the world, if you've got that at that time, and it doesn't even have to be money. This is what I want to do. Pay It Forward can be anything, any little small gesture, little hug when someone's needing it, because they'll remember the next time and pick you up. And beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I love it. And that and Kick Kick Play. That you've got
Power Up,
Power Up, sorry.
You're in it as well,
well, yeah, I mean, like, I was waiting for my credit on the album. I haven't seen it yet, but no, it's so great. But every time I hear that bit, I'll go, yeah, that was
great.
It.
I love it. Every song I'm doing now, and like the next album that will be out, so it will be released for the end of August Bank Holiday weekend, which in my calendar is Lincoln Steampunk Asylum. So physically it'll be then. You can pre-order now, so you can just go to Madam Misfit, my website, but it'll be available available to stream on all the sites. So that means songs like Power Up will be actually on Spotify, which everyone's been waiting for. 30th of August, it'll come out digitally. So, yeah.
And they can also, of course, join your Patreon on your website.
They can, yeah, but Patreon's great.
Bargain.
Patreon's a community biscuit barrel. It starts from £3. You join as a rich tea, and you get everything from free songs to the first releases of things, scopes for artwork, all the photo shoots, all the raw images, just everything you could ever want. Me waffling on ideas, they're the best bits as well. And some people have even got to choose what I'm doing with songs and where I'm going, and yeah, it's great because I need a buffer. You're essentially my buffer. It's that biscuit barrel. I'm going in, I'm like, what am I doing? Take a nibble, and then I come out with an idea. That's how it works. So.
It's amazing. So, 2 more questions. Firstly, we're at obviously Fantasy Forest, just a wonderful festival. Have you got any tips for festivals and people kind of getting ready to go out to them this summer?
I think don't be too rigid regarding expectations. I think I've had a big kind of change up in my whole mental health recently, and setting expectations, you're sort of setting yourself up for fail. So just make a list of what you'd like to achieve, and then just really prioritise it. So obviously my priority was my show, had to do the shows, but I've also amazingly been able to tick off loads of other little bits that I've been able to do. Haven't been able to see everything, but in hindsight, my physical health is that I'm not dead to the ground, and a bit of self-care, eating, drinking, sleeping. Take care of yourself.
If you're drinking chucking of water, that's my top one. Just chucking one every now and again.
Take care of yourself, that's it. And don't feel obliged to, if you can't purchase a merchandise or anything like that to support the art, you're already supporting them by seeing them and literally just following them online. So honestly, it means the world that festivals and live music is a thing. It's absolutely amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you're about to, I know it's too late so far, but I'm going to say it, World Tour of America, starting soon.
Starting off, I know, well, Pennsylvania, so I'm going to Key City, along with Victor and the Bully, which I pinch myself every day, so I keep saying, like, it could still not happen, the plane might, no, Pennsylvania, and then I've just announced as well, and I can say this kind of, Squee.
Yeah, please.
That in March, middle of March, I am going to Wild Wild West Con in Arizona, which means I won't be at Sci-Fi Weekend.
Hey, we're going to miss you, but we all celebrate your success, and we get to see you everywhere else where you're touring around.
I know, it was really hard, but I did find out in advance, so I let them all know. But just think, having a year off means I get to come back and hit it harder the following year, hopefully. So.
That's the spirit. Oh, and just very quickly, I'm going to interview Victor and the Bully just after you.
Okay.
What's the thing I should ask them? What's the kind of inside deep dive question that I should be going for?
Interview Victor and the Bully. Oh God, they're such naughty boys. Like.
Even the girl one?
Nancy's the worst, I tell ya. Like, how do you think you're going to upstage Madam Misfit at Lincoln Steampunk Asylum? I think that's it. Like, I like to keep them on the toes.
Oh, that question sounded like a challenge as well. I like it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I think that's set me up for a fail. Well, it's a sort of love and hate relationship, but we work brilliantly together. I can't wait to spend time with the boys as well. But yeah, how are they going to upstage me? I want to know.
Sarah, it's been a pleasure always to catch up. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for the positivity. I think it's so important in the world, which can seem bleak sometimes. So thank you.
Pay it forward.
I'm now backstage once again, this time with Victor and the Bully.
Hey, do a flip.
Gents, how you doing?
Good, yeah. Good. Sweaty. Very sweaty.
So, to make sure that you're introduced properly, I'm going to get you to do it yourself because I'm that bad with names. So, please.
I'm Victor Garsley.
I'm the Crowboy. And I'm Frankie Dude.
Awesome. And the fourth member, what would be the name which he goes under on the stage?
Halo. Unfortunately,
Halo.
He had to go after we played our set.
Don't worry. I'll do this shot so it's like that, so we can just say she's just. So I'll start actually because I asked Sarah, like Madam Misfit, what's the question that I should ask you guys? So she's asked, and I think she's like she's throwing down a little gauntlet here. It's like, how are you going to, when you're performing with Madam Misfit later in the year, going to upstage her?
Just by turning up, really.
Yeah, just turning up and playing a normal set,
much.
really.
Yeah, don't take much.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Sorry, was that phone it in? You say? I mean, gee, oh.
we might be. We would just mime and it'd be better.
Yeah, we could just, cover ourselves in mud and just stand there.
Unfortunately, I think this is a ploy because she wants to know what we're going to do, so she can do one up. So I know your tricks. but it may involve 10 gallons of slime.
We're gonna do a lot with slime in the
Yes,
future.
we think slime's coming back.
Sponsored by Nickelodeon.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do bright slime.
Yeah.
So, which is the Aston Kutcher of the band?
Halo.
Halo, yeah. She's got those Hollywood features.
Yeah.
So, guys, I first discovered you at Sci-Fi Weekender apart from Ashford. I'll do that in the intro, it's fine. So, how long have you guys been going? Like, how did the band kind of come about?
Overall, Victory and the Blues, this is our 10th year going. Yeah.
Wow.
And we've doubled in numbers from when it first started. And we're just having the best time of our lives at the moment. Like,
Quick history lesson, we were all in a band when we came out of school, so we've all been writing music with each other for about 16 years.
Yeah.
All in.
yeah.
And we keep coming back to the same.
Somehow
Yeah.
it's just come
Yeah.
full circle.
What's funny is that Frankie Doom has always been like, so he produced our albums and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there were moments where Crowboy couldn't play, so I was like, can you play instead? And then next minute we're like, oh, just join the band.
Just easier.
Yeah.
But he was joking. He was like, I'm only, all right, I'll only do it part time. Next minute we're in Netherlands, and he's like, that's meant to be part time.
I hear that was after it blew up for him after writing a Doctor Who theme tune for a podcast. That's how I heard it anyway. But I love the
Still waiting for
influences.
the
Since I start making money, you'll be the first to know. So I love the kind of sounds, the different kind of genres you've got within. So like I'm hearing a bit of ska, obviously some rock, a bit of punk. Like
a bit
what are your
chameleon,
what are your influences going into the music?
Varied.
We just like, we love a hook.
Clash to Slipknot to
Madness.
to Backstreet Boys. If it's
Right.
catchy, we'll listen to it.
Yeah, we're big believer in a hook in a song and get everyone joining in. And
Our
Yeah.
playlists on Spotify, what we listen to, are chaos. We're very genreless in our music taste, and I think that comes out. in our-
Polyjamorous, I believe, is the term.
Generous, genreless.
No, polyjamorous is
Oh,
what
polyamorous.
people have started using for people who are into different types of music.
actually really like
But I think all of that kind of comes out in our music. We're like, oh, we could do a bit of Balkan,
yeah, but it
knees
also
up.
like, when we bring out a new song, people are still like, oh yeah, it's still Victor and the Bully. Like, if we could bring out just a random genre of like
Yeah.
Gregorian
song,
chants.
yeah, and they'd be like, oh yeah, no, it's still Victor and the Bully. So,
Yeah, there is
Look
something
out
very
for our Gregorian
signature.
chant album. 2025.
And you've alluded to it there, but you are, just such amazing show people. Like
Thank
the crowd work which you do, I think, is second to none. Are you guys from like performing backgrounds outside of kind of music, or is just like
No,
years of
We're
music?
Professional clowns.
Yeah. No, I tell you what helps is because we're such good friends, we know, because we're such good friends. Oh, wait.
Because we're such good friends.
This is going to be the new song because we're such good friends.
Yeah.
Beep beep.
We're such good friends that we don't mind being silly. We've got no shame about being silly and just doing. We know we've all got each other's back on stage, and we know we can just have
our fronts.
fun ourselves. And then if anyone wants to join in with our fun, that's fine. But as long as like the four of us are having fun, that's all that
We
matters.
feel like it rubs off.
Yeah.
So we just, as goofy as we are, people just seem to vibe with that. So.
I think the other thing you've got to bear in mind is we've all been on stage a long time.
Yeah.
And I think like anything, the more you do something, the more comfortable you get. So anyone who's just starting out in music, just keep going, play in the pubs, play in the toilet gigs, because it all gives you practice with that interaction. Until, like Matt said, you're just comfortable with you as yourself and the people around you. You almost ignore the people in front of you.
Yeah.
Just assume they're going to have a good time because you are.
And then every so often you look up and you're like, oh shit.
For me, Babushka is one of my favourite reviewers. Just the energy and the way it gets the crowd going.
Yeah.
Have you each got a kind of favourite one to perform?
Probably
Got a few
everyone different. You like Babushka.
I do
I like
like
Danza.
Yeah.
I think it's got good energy. It's got really easy call and response to the crowd.
Yeah.
I love Midday Drinking.
Do you know?
Yeah, that's
and
fun.
I like the song Midday Drinking. But
All of our songs are designed to jump around to.
Interestingly enough, that used to be one of my least favourite to play, but it is actually one of my favourites to
Is
play
it?
now. Yeah, since we as a 4-piece, it just seems.
I genuinely, I look down at our like what the next song is, and there's not one that I'm like,
Seagull.
I'm just enjoying. Like I literally just because I know each one's going to be silly and fun and just mucking around with each other, you know. So yeah, I love it.
Well, you're going from a 2-piece to a 4-piece. How kind of easy is to incorporate people into the band? Did it just happen organically? Did it change the feel of a recording session or a performance?
I think in particular, so myself and Frankie Doom, we're electric guitarists, and previously the band's been quite acoustic based, ukulele based. We like a bit of rock, we like our guitars noisy. So I think that's bled into the music. It's made it a lot more kind of rock anthem-y.
It really has, yeah. I mean, I think when Victor and the Bully started, it was a ukulele and an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So it had it's still got the same vibe. Like it hasn't changed. It's just got a bit more of a aggressive, I suppose.
Yeah.
Gone from swing to punk swing.
Yeah.
But also, like, if we want, we can do it as a duo.
Yes.
Like, because there are some times where there are some elements where, you know, like if we like got a gig in the US, they can't afford to like pay for the flights for all of us. We go, okay, we'll just do it as a duo instead, and it means we can still go out there, we can make new fans, blah 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 blah. And then other times we can do as the 4 of us.
I mean, obviously, like the first time you saw us, obviously, was at Sci-Fi with
Yeah,
you, wasn't
yeah.
it? And that was supposed to be a trio. It was supposed to be me, Victor, and Halo. But she wasn't feeling that great, so she couldn't make it. So it ended up just being me and Victor, and it was real good fun.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
We're like a Lego man. You can swap out all the parts very easily.
Yeah.
And please give a little bit of a promotion. You've got you are popping over to America again, and what other tours, what other gigs?
Yeah, we're going to Key City Steampunk event. We've
Yeah.
Never played it before.
No, it's in
It's a new one for
Gettysburg
us.
in Pennsylvania. We've got Asylum. We're playing at Asylum. We've got.
Well, we're taking Madam Misfit with us
Yeah, we are.
to Key City
Yeah.
for the first time.
We've also got. We're playing a Splendid Day Out next year. We're just building up our gig list for 2025 at the moment. Like, it doesn't stop. The train never stops. In all honesty.
A couple more questions quickly. So first of all, I have to give you a right to reply. Unfortunately, I've already interviewed Madam Misfit. But what rhetorical question or smack talk would you give Sarah back?
Why are you like that?
Stop it.
I can't believe you've done this.
Just stop.
She's a pain in the bum. That we like.
Well, they say a friend in need is a pest. And yeah, she's a pest. We love her, but she's like an annoying sister.
This mock rivalry is going to go on so far. We're going to end up having a boxing match between you and her.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this was all just to garner some publicity for my podcast by starting a band war.
Yeah. But
She said what?
we're
She
very
called you a
different
bitch,
types
actually.
of
I don't know what
music.
that was about.
We're very different types of music, and I do feel, although we have a lot of crossovers at things, overall she's more on like the electro swing, sort of a bit more poppy, and
Yeah.
more rock, and recently metal.
We're like Fire and Ice.
And maybe at the beginning of Victor Body we were a bit more aligned, but now we're like going apart
Yeah.
with our music stuff, and that's fine. But yeah, I think we're sort of doing a bit of that musically anyway. Yeah, she's alright. She's a 6 out of 10. Yeah.
And of course, at the height of summer, in festival season, what are your top tips for festival goers?
Drink water.
Stay
Genuinely.
hydrated.
Stay
Drink
hydrated.
water.
We've made the mistake before in early festivals where we would drink lots of beer and then almost perish. Yeah, drink water, get some shade.
Also, don't
See as
be
many-
embarrassed about going to have a nap.
Yeah.
We are so on rock and roll. Yesterday, we all went back to the tent for a nap. Don't be embarrassed about having a nap.
Try and watch a few bands you've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Because you'll always be surprised.
Branch out. You'll
Yeah,
find
we
your
wouldn't-
favourite.
we-
Most of the people we had watching both days were people we didn't know that never heard
And
of
try
us.
and remember them so you can go home and give them a like and a subscribe and all that sort of stuff.
You see, I almost forgot to ask you guys because I realised last night I heard of Madam Misfit through Professional Mental. I heard of you guys through Madam Misfit. So now you have to pay it forward. What is the band I need to check out after Victor and the Bully?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is the band?
Who do you want to throw it out to?
Oh, I don't know.
Trying to think who we've played with recently?
Well, I don't know. We have so many. Like, we recently played with a band called Call Me Malcolm. Yeah. Call Me Malcolm is a good ska band. Alice Strange is always a
Yeah, I think Alice Strange. She's always. We've been on the scene a long time with her, and she's just getting better and better.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah,
her
absolutely
singing
phenomenal.
is
She's
incredible.
Expect her to keep doing bigger and better things. So definitely Alice for me.
Yeah.
Like you said, Call Me Malcolm, local lads.
Yeah.
Been going to America. They're big in America at the minute. Scar's having a revival in America. Who knew?
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to go after both of those, but I'll take Alice. Like Alice, you're the next one, and then you've got to be ready to tell me the next band I've got to go off to.
Yeah, take Alice. Yeah.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. You were absolutely
so
rocked
much.
both stages this weekend.
Cheers.
Have an absolute great rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So that was Victor and the Bully, and before that you enjoyed Madam Misfit here on the Dr. Squee Show. What a great time. Please do book your tickets now for Fancy Forest. I think I got distracted with myself earlier when I was talking about it, but yeah, you've got kind of some LARPing stuff on there. You've got there was archery there was axe throwing, there was great acts on stage. You had people doing like loads of stalls everywhere where you could buy all this weird and wonderful stuff. There was a Doctor Who zone. There's people dressed as Star Trek characters, people dressed as orcs with our friends from the Galactic Knights who were there. There was just so much to do. It was one of these wonderful events whereby in the most wonderful way you couldn't get to everything because there was so much on, but they did have the acts on multiple stages, so if you missed them on one stage you could see them at the other. You can buy your tickets for Fancy Forest 2025. I believe it's in October they go on sale, but to go to the Fancy Forest website you'll get full details there. It's set like it's even the grounds of where it is. It's on a castle grounds in Cheltenham, just to add to the majesty of the event. But I had such a swell time. I was dressed as a dragon for a lot of it, also dressed as the 11th Doctor, amongst other cosplays. And it was just the most amazing time. The spirit and the atmosphere of this event, I cannot speak highly enough about. So please do book your tickets for next year. You won't regret it. You'll have a great time. I'd say tell them Dr. Squee sent you, but they won't know who that is. Yeah, Adam Washington, who I mentioned earlier, he was hosting the stages for a lot of the event, and he was also hosting quiz on the Friday of the event. It's just so good. Really, you want to get on that. And if you're into Star Trek, get on that. Get on Destination Trek. It's a great 1-2 punch of a couple of events you can attend. And do buy tickets now for Nerd Night and buy Madam Misfit's album. Look up Victor and the Bully, that wonderful band online. They've got some absolute corker tunes. You can find them both on Spotify now. But for this week, that was the Dr. Squee Show. Thank you very much for joining us. It's great to be back. I've been Dr. Squee. That was my show. And until next week, please live like you've got two hearts and be kind.